Welcome to Real Housewives Recaps. This is Season 10, Episode 2, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. To live and let text in Beverly Hills. We kick off the episode at Dorit's new house. They flash to the old house and say neither of us believed it was our forever home. It's revealed that the new house costs $6,475,000. It's 9,000 square feet, 6 beds, 8 baths, with a movie theater. She says the closet is an issue. Immediately, I love the Bravo editors. They show a producer asking, why is the house in your name and not in PK's? She says, what difference does that make? Is your house in both you and your wife's name? What a weird question to ask. She's just trying to avoid it. They also flash to a headline saying a judge orders money in Dorit's frozen bank account be turned over to PK's creditor as she loses court battle. PK says it comes from a period of time when I didn't know you and it upsets me. Producer says, let's talk about your life before Dorit. Where did you start? PK says he got a job as a real estate broker for rich clients who wanted him to go to education lessons. I don't think I'm saying that right. He says he had a flair for buildings and knew he could recognize value in them. Dorit says he turned into a $2 billion business. I'm calling BS on that one. PK blames the credit crunch, calls it a financial tsunami. He says, when I met Dorit, I was a little better off than broke. Okay. Producer says, there's a few things that follow you guys. The stuff about the house, the stuff about the bankruptcy, the stuff about the frozen accounts, the stuff about con artists. He says, how do you answer to that? You're ignoring it doesn't make it go away. PK says, I answer to that by knowing who I am. And then they flash to PK saying, let's talk about your closet. If you want to upgrade, I'm down. Which again, just sounds like a weird change of subject. I don't understand the logic there. I don't understand their finances. It scares me. Glad they're not my finances. Then we flash over to Garcelle. Garcelle is going to her new house. And she's riding in the car with her friend, Allie Landry. Now, this is interesting because I remember when Allie Landry was just marrying Mario Lopez. I think they were married with just a couple of days. It was 2 weeks. And it turns out he messed around at his bachelor party, which is pretty crappy. But I found it interesting tie because, of course, they go to Garcelle's cheating ex-husband as well. It's funny to see Garcelle's much more down-to-earth life, reasonable house. It sounds like it's about 3,200 square feet as opposed to Dorit's 9,000 square feet. She talks about her old life being married to Mike Nylon. It sounds like they were married for about 9 years. So she reveals that one day she said, hey, Mike, can I use your phone? And she saw a text that said, I love you. She asked him about it, and his face changed. And he admitted that he had been having an affair. She asked how long it had been going on, and he said for 5 years. So that night, she wrote an email and CC'd all his colleagues at the talent agency, and I was able to find that email on page 6. So I've got it here. She just said, Tiger Woods, Jesse James, Mike Nylon. What do they have in common? I found out today that my husband of almost 9 years has been having an affair for 5 years with some slut in Chicago. I am devastated, and I have been duped. Our boys don't deserve that. Good for you. Oh, what a scumbag. And then a producer asks what happened to the woman he was having an affair with, and Garcelle just says, no idea. I tried to Google it myself and couldn't find any information. That's a crazy story. Then we head over to Teddi and Lisa Rinna. They talk about Lisa's daughter, Amelia. She's been having a rough time. She's started school in New York as well as modeling, and she's just struggling. And I hate to hear anybody struggling, especially kids. That's awful. Then we go to Sutton and Kyle. They are meeting for dinner in New York. Kyle says she doesn't know Sutton very well, but she gets a good vibe from her. Sutton, I just can't with her. She talks about yacht wear and seems confused that everybody doesn't have a yacht. She explains that she was married for 17 years. She talked about him last week. I think she said he was an investor or hedge fund. I don't know. She reveals that she's opening a store in West Hollywood. She calls it an antique store. She says she's like Rumpelstiltskin, just woke up and is figuring stuff out. And she gets excited about playing yacht rock for a trunk show. I'm not really a big Kyle fan, and I'm definitely not a Sutton fan, so they can just have their vapid conversations and enjoy that. Next, we are over at Denise and Aaron's house. They show their Malibu house. They were at hotels for months, and they talk about Charlie being an ass, which it sounds like he is. He calls her a coward and a liar, Charlie did, in the paper. He basically filed saying he didn't want to pay her, and she says, even though he hasn't paid me for quite some time. They have a hearing set for November. Denise reveals that she is in a lot of pain. She has been for a year. She didn't want to go to the doctor because she was scared, and she's since gone, and it turns out she has a hernia, and she needs surgery. Then we have Erika. She is having lunch with Garcelle. And I have been very turned off by Erika the last couple seasons, but I'm back on the Erika train. I like her very much this season. I'm so glad she's opening up. She talks to Garcelle. They bond because they both have older children. Erika's son is 27. Garcelle's son, Oliver, is 28. And she just found out Oliver's going to have a baby, so that's exciting. They talk about Erika's husband being 80, and Garcelle says, how's the sex? And Erika gives a hilarious answer and just says, it's okay. Then we have Teddi. Oh, I'm Teddi. Oh, please listen to Watch What Crappens if you don't know what that means. It's so silly. Oh, Teddi, she's so boring. I just can't with Teddi right now. I'm just not a fan. I used to like her okay, but I just find her more and more obnoxious and full of herself and hard to swallow. So she's in there with her assistant. They're discussing a retreat she's having. I guess nobody can figure out what an accountability coach is. Can't say that I actually understand it either. She sends a text to everyone. And the funny thing is, again, I love the editors because they show that nobody is interested in going. It's so funny. The text says, hey guys, as you probably are already aware, I'm hosting an all-in retreat at Surf and Sand in Laguna Beach. I'd love to have you all come out for the day/night of October 4th, option to sleep over, to take part in some health and fitness fun. I know it may not be something that floats everybody's boat, so don't feel obligated to come, but I promise it will not hurt my feelings. Let me know if you're in as soon as possible, and I'll reserve your spot. XX Teddi. Oh, Teddi. Does that sound fun to you? It sounds awful. Even if you're into working out, who wants to go on somebody else's work retreat? That doesn't sound fun at all. No wonder the women had this reaction. I can't say I blame them. So next we have Denise. She's in the car with her husband, Aaron, and the editors did something funny where they made her say she wishes it could just be the future, and then they jumped to the future with a voiceover, which was kind of weird, but whatever. If it gets us through this part quicker, I'm good with it. Aaron, he's kind of strange. He's talking about stimulating ultra frequency. I don't know. Turns out she's calling it a double hernia, but we find out later it's 4 hernias. Sounds awful. Ugh. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. Wish her the best. So next we jump to Erika at home with Tom. She's showing Tom the contract to play Roxy in Chicago. That's amazing. I think it's really cool that they showed this part. Again, Erika's kind of been cold, and she's finally kind of letting us in and letting us see her life with Tom, and it's kind of sweet. I actually enjoy it. I like that they were holding hands, and he was very supportive. She cried. She thanked him for his support, and I just thought it was a touching moment. So again, we flash back to Denise. She explains it was supposed to be an hour to an hour and a half procedure, and it turned into a 6-hour procedure. She had 4 hernias, not 1. Aaron hooks up his weirdo machines. And it's sweet that he's taking care of her. And of course, she has to bring up that he has a big dong. So there's that. So next we get scenes of the girls getting ready for Sutton's opening. She's opening her store. We got Teddi and Lisa in the car. Lisa admits to being sassy about the event and tells Teddi just to have 0 expectations. Lisa tells her, everyone wants to support you, but I think they're all a little nervous. It's just too open. You need to make it clear and be real specific about what you want. Teddi says, in my dream scenario, people will come and leave before dinner for their ease. Rinna says, what if someone comes and causes shit? Teddi pouts and moans, and I just found it kind of a weird setup for this whole weird thing that Teddi's doing. Then we have the ladies at Sutton's party. Everyone's arriving. Of course, you have Dorit getting there, and she's talking to a reporter about PK, and she gets mad and says to shut the F up when she's giving her talking head interview. I didn't think the reporter really asked anything that bad. She was basically asking, how do you deal with all this stuff? Sounds like she's got something to hide. Then we have the very pretentious Sutton walking around in another weird outfit. She announces that she's wearing couture. And Erika says, I don't think we need to announce it. And it still looks bad. And I thought that was the best line of the whole episode. She's right. You don't need to announce it. And it did look bad. I'm sure it's expensive and special or whatever, but it just makes it worse to announce it like that. We have a very awkward scene of the mayor of West Hollywood. And Sutton takes this time when he's toasting her to question him about parking. Garcelle in her interview said, just thank the man. Dorit then addresses Teddi about her retreat and says, I'm coming after lunch. I just have to leave before dinner. Again, I'm not a fan of Dorit, huge fan of Dorit, but I didn't think it was that bad what she said. She's being honest. She is trying to support her and make it. Teddi has this thing. And she said, here's the thing. I don't care if you come or you don't come, which of course ticked off all the ladies. Sutton says, wait, I'm coming, but if you don't give a shit, then why am I coming? And Teddi says, I don't want anyone to come and be a pain in the ass. Garcelle says, I wouldn't be a pain in the ass, but I don't want to come, which I thought was pretty great too. Then we flash to the next episode. It looks like next time Kyle comes home, they confront Teddi for being an ass, which she is. Kyle has a dinner party. Aaron, for some reason, is talking about being followed. Sutton says she thought Teddi would be boring. I'm not a fan of Sutton, but I think Teddi's boring. I think she's right. So it should be interesting. I thought this episode was pretty darn good. I actually really enjoyed this one. What'd you guys think? So my question of the week is, who's the most interesting of this cast? Who's the most boring? I'd say the most interesting to me, maybe Garcelle or Erika. Who's the most boring? Oh God, Teddi, you're awful. I just can't. Maybe Kyle is the second runner-up. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. So this has been the Real Housewife Recaps, recapping Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'll be back for Real Housewives of New York probably tomorrow, so check that out. And I'm also recapping Below Deck. So let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and thumbs up. Tell your friends. Thanks. Bye-bye.